Okay, the next thing in Jacob chapter 2, which we have to talk about because this is awesome. Jacob takes this message. He wants the people to go to the temple to teach them some things that are pretty powerful. And he says that the Lord has made it known unto him. So he can read their thoughts because of the power of the Lord. And he tells them that because the Lord's made it known unto him that they are beginning to labor in sin. So they're starting to labor in sin, which is really grievous and upsetting to the Lord. And one of the things he starts by saying is, okay, you guys now, because of God, have become rich. You have a lot of things, nice things. And that's not bad, but the bad part is that they started thinking they're better than other people. And that's bad. So just because you have nicer clothes or because you had a nicer house or those kind of things, they were persecuting even others or thinking that they were better than other people. And Jacob's like, do you think the Lord justifies you in that? No, he doesn't. In fact, he condemns you for it. So Jacob is using some really bold language, but I love how you can tell throughout it how he feels. He doesn't like to talk to them in this way. He wants to not have to be so bold, but as a prophet of God, they don't have a choice. That's what they're called to do, called repentance. And you might not like it, which is all the more reason that they're probably a prophet of God, because if they were getting paid, they would probably say things that we wanted to hear. But they're not, and they're God's mouthpiece. And man, don't you just love our prophet? Like, wow. I love President Nelson. He's a man. So he, like Jacob, has had to get up and tell us things that maybe we didn't want to hear, but he's like, I feel like the Lord is telling me. And it's really, I have to tell you. But he does it in such a loving way. Don't you feel like President Nelson, like yesterday when he gave us that video of hope, and he's just looking right into the camera, and he's like, I love you. And you feel it, like you know he does. But Jacob loves the people too, and he wants to tell them that they're in big trouble because they're becoming prideful. And that's bad. But you know what he says is even worse? So this is even worse, though, is you have thought, the men, he's speaking to the men of the church, like say this is like a priest's session, and he's like, you men, I am so burdened because I have to talk about your gross crimes. You started excusing yourself, like justifying what you're doing because of David and Solomon, who had a lot of wives and concubines. Like Solomon had like 300. It's really weird. I don't know what they did with all those women. So he said this is really bad. And in verse 28 of Jacob 2, he says that the Lord delights in the chastity of women, and whoredoms are an abomination before me. But what's interesting I found is that he says over and over that you're going to be cursed for this. This thing is what's going to curse you for a long, long time. He said that the Lord said, I will not suffer. Saith the Lord of hosts. And this is something interesting that I learned. He said Lord of hosts over and over just in these verses when he's talking to them. And so Lord of hosts is, when he says that, he's referring to himself as a God of armies.